Hi, it's Mr. Koh again here today to talk about backwards thinking bosses. Okay, most of the time, our leaders set examples to be followed, yet their examples are bad examples, like our ministers, like our, you know, NMPs, who resign with hidden agenda. I guess bad examples are always there. You can see it, you can know it. You know it, you see it. It's there, definitely. Then those bosses in the private sectors, like directors, CEOs, CFOs, the C suites, all the C suites, bosses, CEO, CFO, COO, you know, all those C suite, bosses also follow their examples, since those bosses in the private sector thinks the public sector bosses, are a good example when really they are so bad. They're good in the sense, yes, the public bosses like our ministers and MPs, they are good at, just telling you the truth. Yet, when those, bosses in the public sector, like in public service, they cannot receive new ideas. They only know how to give you notifications. They don't even know how to receive new notifications. Since they can't accept new ideas, they always act on the instinct that always, always works. Things we do that have been proven can be done again. Old methods that have been done in the past can be done again since they have been proven. They cannot just think outside of the box. When they think outside of the box, no, private sector bosses usually blame them for trying to decrease profits, trying to decrease, profits being earned in the private sector, you know, it's the same thing, you know, it's the same whole thing. They're private sector bosses like all the C-suite, all the C-suite bosses like CEO, like CEO, like CFO, COOs, all the C-suite mini bosses, in the private sector, they follow their example by thinking backwards too, using old methods that are proven without thinking outside of the box. They can't even give you new notifications since they don't have new ideas coming in at all. They only can give you, old notifications without, receiving any new notifications in their brains, leaving their brain dead. At that time, they think and think and think. They have died out of ideas since they can't even think of anything new, anything that really, you know, anything that is different from the old. They can't even think of anything of that nature. If they really can think it, by now we already will have new ideas that differentiate from the old, which is not. Nowadays, new ideas are just new names with new switched out, items. That's it. Items with new names being switched out with other old items. That's it. You are not getting anything new because the item is still old with just a brand new name on top of it. Tagline. Is it calling you uneducated because the old bosses always like to make fun of the new workers, basically thinking that the new workers that come in, are illiterate, uneducated people, which is not true. The new workers I'm saying are Singaporeans. The old bosses are our, pay and pay party, MPs who, treat people like illiterate, uneducated when it is not true. A lot of opposition, people are independent, think outside of the box without a fake American accent from Hollywood, without an American accent that speaks proper English, not like our aloof, aloof, you know, pay and pay party MPs who try to always speak proper English, who are not independent, who can't even think outside of the box. Can you tell me in the world, which, you know, which politician, especially in America, cannot think outside the box? America is the exception, I can tell that. America is the exception, is the exception. America is the exception, They are the land of freedom. They are 360 opposite of Singapore. I tell China is even better. China think outside the box. They can come up with new tech nowadays. The Americans, they are starting to look inwards. Since they are like Singapore, they have the same dilemma. The land of freedom nowadays is trying to look inwards, look back, trying to use old methods that don't work by putting on tariffs on different countries. It's the same old thing. While China, it's creating new technology, even if their quality may be poor, their technology is far ahead of Singapore's one, especially in the AI sector. I can tell you that even if their quality poor, their AI sector is better than Singapore's one. Even if it's not better, at least it develops faster than SG's one. Oh, I tell you, China's, AI, in 5G, China's AI 5G is faster than Singapore's 5G AI. It's faster than Singapore's 5G one. China 5G is faster than Singapore 5G. Our Singapore 5G moves the same speed as Singapore's 4G, just a bit faster. China 5G moves faster 2 times than China 4G, while our one is only 5G move faster 1 time. No difference. Our one is apparently slow enough to develop. By the time, I tell you, by the time in 2030 we go carbon neutral with all the climate vouchers now, by the time we do that, our AI is still developing. I tell you, we will lag still behind, 50% behind slower than China's development of AI. I tell you, we will be 50% slower than China's AI development. You know why? Since we are spending time giving out, climate vouchers to actually, be carbon neutral. That's how backwards thinking we are, We still use the clock in, clock out, the clock in, clock out, through paper, through a clock in, clock out, paper for clock in, clock out. We don't use digitalized clock in, clock out still. Know why? Because we cannot think outside the box. We still use the paper and pen method to write things down, Even if we did use Microsoft Excel PowerPoint, it's from America, By the time you wait America to progress into I tell you, America will be, 25% slower than Singapore. By then, you start, using PowerPoint, Excel, Microsoft Word again. It won't have the same taste anymore. Since by then, 2030, we become carbon neutral. China is 50% faster than us. We are 50% slower than them. Then America is even way back, worse with their, backwards thinking policies of looking inwards. They're going to be 25% slower than us. I can bet you that is going to be 100% true accurate of how backwards thinking we are, Our education system always tells us, emphasize into our heads to be practical. Practical till when? Becoming practical till 2030, then you will start looking into the future. You're not going to chase up to China. You're going to lose big time, without having enough chips, computer chips, to progress your AI. Heck, you actually need chips, which we are not, the developers of computer chips nowadays. We are not king of computer chips. It is Taiwan, that's developing all those computer chips nowadays. Second is China. Then third is us, Maybe we are not even third. Maybe we are 1/3 of China because we can't even compete with their huge market, which is 10 times bigger than us. God forbid, okay? I tell you, you know what? We become so practical that we cannot think outside of the box. When we think outside of the box, people criticize us, which are our own, ministers, NMPs who will criticize us for being not practical enough. Good forbid. Don't be too practical. Think outside the box. Even if you can't think outside of the box, you know what? I tell you, treat everything like case by case basis, which means think outside of the box when you need to, be practical when you need to. Don't need to be 100% practical. Be 100% practical, you won't receive any new notifications, any new ideas you want to receive it. You can't even receive new ones, okay? Whenever my party mates criticize me, I always accept criticism with a grain of salt. That's how I improve myself. I tell you, if people criticize you, you better accept criticism, keep quiet, take the tongue lashing, move on, improve yourself. That's how you should think outside the box, not just shut people off. Then after that, you suffer, no one wins, okay? You won't win anything if you don't accept criticism. I can tell you, no thinking outside the box, no win, no rewards, okay? Thank you for watching once again. Hope you like, subscribe, share, comment, view this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you.